As you would have heard, I'm sure, in the news as well, the likes of, was it Shania Twain? I think it might have been Shania Twain. People of that ilk have lost a lot of early recordings of their work as a result of a fire in a vault where the masters were kept. Now, from what I understand of the story, the backups were also kept in the same vault, which is just a crazy scenario. And of course, the stars themselves are saying, why would you do that? It got us thinking, though. We all have a lot of our lives now digitally encoded, right? The JPEGs, the MP3s, all of that stuff. And you might think, well, what happens if the phone breaks, or I lose that hard drive, or this, that, and the other? Can you imagine all those pictures of the last 10, 15 years disappearing? So where are we, best advised, to store our digital wares? Matt Porter is the Gadget Man's back on the show with us. Hi, Matt. Good afternoon.
Hello there.
So just to fill in on this story, this is basically rolls of tape, was it, Matt, in a vault that caught fire?
That's right. So it sounds I believe it's master tapes from a whole range of recording artists. I think Eminem was one of them. I mean, it's a disaster if they were the only. Well, they weren't the only copies, were they? The backups were with them, which is something that you never do from someone that's been in the IT industry for sort of 32 years.
Yeah,
you don't keep your backup tapes with you.
It's a cardinal sin, isn't it? It absolutely is a cardinal schoolboy error.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and especially in this day and age, because there are so many other options. So those tapes should really. I know the BBC spent years doing it, which was digitising all of their analog recordings, so that they had effectively a virtual vault of absolutely everything. So you wouldn't be in a situation where you'd go and try and find a tape and find that it had just disintegrated due to old age. And
that is what caused it, isn't it? They were going to tapes, opening the boxes after 40, 50 years, and the tapes just fell to bits.
That's right.
That's why they did
so
it.
There was a mass, and has done it with a lot of classic old films as well. The Laurel and Hardy films have all been digitised, so that they've and put onto safety tape and all kinds of other things. But the key thing here really is about not relying on the original copies of these things, not relying on your computer not breaking down, and not relying on what a lot of people use are USB drives, where they'll plug in a drive and they'll back up their pictures to that. Yeah. All of these things are going to, at some point in their lives, fail. So you kind of have to have multiple copies of these files, and we're lucky now because we have companies such as Google and Microsoft and Amazon who provide enormous amounts of storage space for small amounts of money relatively, because it's important stuff where people complain that it might be sort of £9-10 a month to have this storage. But if that's all of your photographs that are very dear to you, you can't replace them.
Well, if it was a family heirloom, Matt, you would probably spend a couple of quid making sure it was safe, wouldn't you?
You would hope so. And the point with these, if you like, cloud storage systems is that they're not really stored on one computer either. They're stored across vast arrays of computers. So there's, if things do go wrong, which computers do fail, hard drives fail, technology fails, then you know that at least you've got those saved somewhere else. So it's multiple places, really. So
when a photo may have got slightly roughed up over the years and you can still kind of enjoy the photo, that's not the case with modern technology. When it fails, that's it. And it takes everything else with it.
It does. The files can be corrupted, so that you'll go to have a look at a photograph that you treasure and find that it's corrupted. You can't open it, or when you do open it, it's got big red splodges across it because the data's corrupted. So it's really, really important to make sure that people have a copy that's not on the computer that they're using, so on a USB drive that's unplugged, so that if they get a virus or anything like that, they've still got the information elsewhere, and also store it off-site, which means putting it in the cloud, because that's the cheapest way of doing it. So have a copy that automatically have a system that automatically copies your pictures up onto the cloud, and then they're safe.
Yeah, I mean, Google, just to name...
These are like these big folders that we have up in our lofts,
exactly,
books and things like that. They're effectively the same.
Google has, just to name one company, they have like a free thing. You can install it, and every time you put a picture somewhere on your computer, it just does it in the background. It'll go away and make a backup for you on their systems. And all right, there might be, I guess, the odd privacy concern, but who wants to see a picture of me and my dog from 1988? At some point we've got to say, well, I'd rather have these things safe and looked after.
That's right. The privacy is kind of a side issue with the main companies now. They're really heavily bent towards encrypted storage and things like that. So it's very unlikely that other people are going to be able to see those pictures. And you go with someone like Google or Microsoft do one called OneDrive. They do their free products, which provide you with lots of space. And if you pay a little bit more, you get vast amounts of space, like a terabyte or something, which should be plenty to store all your photos.
And you do hear stories, don't you, where people take loads and loads of photos on their phone, and then all of a sudden either the phone breaks, won't turn on anymore, or it's stolen, and they say, oh my goodness, the last 2 years of my life is on that thing. Well, that's what you're protecting against.
Happens all the time where I see people on Facebook, for example, where they're saying, I've lost my phone. Has anyone in this area have seen a phone? Have anyone picked up an iPhone and things like that? I don't know where to find it. Well, there are things on there, for instance, where you can track. There's a thing called Find My Phone, which come with, but all of the phone manufacturers have that facility.
I didn't realise the pips went off at 15 minutes past.
I wonder what that was.
It's the first time I've ever done that.
I thought I was going to put 10p in the meter.
I thought they were just once an hour. No, they're not. They're every 15 minutes. Wow.
There you go. Yes, I can't remember what I was saying now. I've been distracted. But yeah, it's all about security. Don't rely on your things like phones because they get stolen. They get dropped in buckets, in baths and buckets of water and all sorts of other things. So just make sure you've got a copy of those images because you'll treasure them. At some point, you'll want to see them again, and they're gone forever.
It's a pretty simple thing to do. We've got the message about viruses. We've all got antivirus software now. I guess we need to get the message about, these automated backup things that will just take care of us without, we've all got the ability now to upload reasonably, well, I say all of us, let's hope the majority in Suffolk now have the ability to upload, big data. And I guess it's just a message we need to absorb.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And like you said, these software companies who provide these services for free in many cases, they do provide little applications you install on your computer. They monitor particular folders on your computer, such as the pictures folder or documents folder, and then automatically synchronize them with storage space online. So you don't have to proactively do anything. As long as you set those things up very simply in the first place, then at least your pictures. I mean, on my mobile phone, every single picture I take on my mobile phone gets synchronized to Google Drive, for instance, and I don't have to do anything. It's something that was provided as part of the phone. So
it saves you downloading the damn thing off the phone. It's just automatically there on the web browser.
It's automatically uploaded.
With personal data, of course, that's one thing, Matt, but there is a serious issue here with businesses. And probably like you, I'm always astounded by the amount of businesses that don't have proper backups. I mean, that is serious data we're talking about. It's business critical data that people are toying with. Yeah,
I used to be right on the button with these things when I was in IT support, and I'd go to, this is a long time ago, and hopefully things have improved since then, but I would go to customer sites and find them taking backups and then just putting the tape on top of the computer in the morning and putting a new one back in again, and that's where it would remain on top of the computer.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see how that was any benefit at all.
Yeah.
But it's all about having fire safes in offices so that there's a fireproof safe in there so that even if you aren't taking the tapes, you should always take one off-site anyway, but at least the other tapes, put them inside a fireproof safe so that, there's an opportunity there for that data to be saved in the event of something catastrophic. I mean, what's happened with this record company losing all these tapes, it's just beggars belief. They're going to be hit by such an enormous legal bill that I don't know how they'll survive, but... There you go.
All right, Matt, always great advice. Thank you, my friend. Matt Porter, the Gadget Man, on the importance of backing up your digital data.